Hello and welcome back to Overbooked. Today I'm going to be talking about the book Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Spoiler alert, she's not. So quick synopsis about this book. The book centers around a character named Eleanor. She struggles with appropriate social skills and says what's ever on her mind. She has a very scheduled life. She works Monday through Friday from like 8:30 to 5, has an hour for lunch. She goes and does the same thing for lunch every single day, has certain dinners on certain days. So like on Monday she has a certain meal, Tuesday it's a certain meal, so on and so forth. And on the weekends, she pretty much just waits till Monday to come back around and does this with frozen pizza and vodka. And she has a phone conversation with her mom on Wednesdays weekly. So that's what she's got going on. Eleanor has struggled through a very hard life, starting with a very traumatic childhood experience, which leads her to go shuffle through foster care systems, has an abusive relationship in college, and now just has a really lonely, isolating life where sometimes she goes days without talking to somebody. Especially on the weekends. She won't interact with another person. This all changes when she falls in love with a musician who she's never met. Your girl's getting a little crazy and obsessed. She, at one point in the book, goes and checks out his apartment. And this reminds me of when I was in middle school, high school, and you and your girlfriends would conveniently drive by your crush's house on the way to school. Change your route so you could drive by their house. I don't know why you would do that. What do you, wave hi? I don't know what our thinking was. Anyone else do that? No? Just me? All right, Eleanor. Guess we have more in common than I thought. So she starts, once she realizes that she, is in love with this musician and they're, meant to be together, she starts changing things about her appearance and knows that she needs to work on her social skills. So she starts going to get her nails done, does her hair, whatever. And then the social skills kind of come in when she meets Sammy and Raymond. Raymond is a guy at her work who works in the IT department, and both her and Raymond end up being together when they see Sammy, an older gentleman who's a stranger, no connection to their job, falls, and they both have to assist him in getting help. And then they kind of start a friendship from there, and they go to visit him in the hospital, which leads to being invited to parties, birthday parties, so on and so forth, which lead Eleanor to be in these social situations that she hasn't been in for a very long time. And while she's in them, she's like, oh, this is perfect practice for me when me and the musician get together. The book pretty much just follows Eleanor and how she's navigating this new social scene, just the different aspects of her life that are coming up. And of course she's learning to figure out how to deal with her traumatic childhood experience and the mom that she has to call every week. I cannot call her mommy, you guys. I can't. No. So that's a quick synopsis, but overall I really like this book. Definitely 4.5 stars out of 5. I thought that it was a really good story, very important story to tell. I feel like I haven't read a lot of books that center around mental illness, and so it was kind of really nice to see. I thought that there was a lot of character development. I felt like I really got to know all of the characters. I loved all of them except Eleanor's coworkers, who I think can just get out of here. They're super rude. Side note, no workplace is like this. So any students who are high schoolers or college kids who are reading this book, your workplace won't be like that. And if it is, get the hell out of there. Do not be like Eleanor. Do not sit around while people just whisper about you in front of your face. Get out of there. Anyways, I really liked all the characters, and I just really loved how the story progressed. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great book, and I finished it in 3 days. So there's one tiny thing that I didn't like about the book, but I'm going to highlight what I did like about the book, the thing that I liked most about the book first. Just a disclaimer, I have a very close family member that suffers through depression and other mental illnesses. So a lot of this hit close to home, and I noticed a lot of patterns and recognized them while I was reading. I think this book showed a great example of how depression just isn't cured overnight, and you can't really exactly cure depression. There's always like this saying, and I feel like I see it on social media a lot, where it's like, oh, just think really positive thoughts and your depression will just go away. And that's not how it works. Your chemical imbalance in your brain will not just magically go away if you wake up and tell yourself that you're happy. So, please get out and stop saying that. When Eleanor has a breakdown, she starts going to a therapist, and I just thought that was just really, really well like displayed. First of all, Eleanor herself doesn't seek help. She has to break down, which happens a lot. A lot of people who suffer from depression or any other mental illness like bipolar or so on and so forth, usually in my case, so please correct me if I'm wrong, usually have to have like a breakdown to realize, okay, I do need to get help. And her friend Raymond suggests that she goes and sees her GP about, how to help herself. And her GP refers her to a therapist. Go therapy. So she starts going to therapy, and I think the book really just shows how well it takes time and work, that you don't just go to a therapy session and it's just like, oh, it's done, one and done. She goes for several weeks, and the idea of medication is brought up, but not, necessary right away. And it's just a good thing to illustrate, I think, on how handling mental illness, especially depression, works. And I just really, really liked that. I cannot stress that enough. I really appreciate how the author put that in there, because so many times I think I feel like I see people who are like, oh, you're still depressed, or isn't that fixed now? It's not something that just goes away. It's something that you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life. So I just thought that was really, really great. So thank you. Part that I didn't really like about this book, and maybe I am off base here, so, call me out if I'm wrong, but I thought that, so the character Eleanor has a lot of, she lacks a lot of social skills. And like I said in the beginning, kind of just says whatever she's thinking, which when I was reading it, I kind of thought that maybe she was on the spectrum. And since she dealt with such, traumatic childhood events, that she had some sort of PTSD, but I didn't really think that those things related to her depression. And I felt like when Eleanor gets her diagnosis of clinical depression, it's supposed to just explain all her odd behaviors into that diagnosis, which for me doesn't really make sense. I don't think that if you are diagnosed with depression, it explains why you have such odd social skills or say kind of whatever you're thinking. I wish that the author would have dived more into maybe the separate stuff that was going on with Eleanor, or kind of been like, this is what's going on. Because I just don't think that, and I don't want people thinking that, oh, like everyone with depression acts like Eleanor, which obviously everyone handles a mental illness differently, but I just don't think that's a huge side effect of depression, is having that weird lack of social skills. And I could be completely wrong, so again, call me out if need be. Also, this book wasn't like, this book is going to explain mental illness in its entirety, so I can't say that that's what it should be telling me, but the author did choose to write a character with mental illness, so maybe some research should have been done. I don't know. That's the part that just kind of bothered me, and it was literally the only thing that bothered me. So overall, great book. I really recommend it, especially if you don't know a lot about mental illness, or you just need a good book to pick up. I just thought it was a great book. I thought all the characters were heartwarming and just a really good, I don't know how many times I can say really good book, but it was just a really good book. I also just think it's nice to read, because you don't have to have a mental illness to go through some of the things that, Eleanor is going through. She goes through a lot of loneliness, which I think everyone experiences, a lack of, awkwardness in public, not knowing how to handle being around other people, or, you know, just, I don't want to say odd office environments, because again, if that's what's going on, you should be talking to your HR person. Just saying. Her coworkers suck. So I think it was a really relatable on just kind of like a whole, even if you don't have a mental illness or know anybody with a mental illness. So highly recommend. I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you've read the book, I know I'm really behind. I think this came out in 2017. That's my life, you guys. I really just can't really keep up. So if you want overdue book reviews, I'm your gal. But again, if you've read the book, please let me know in the comments below what you thought, or if you had anything that you really didn't like, or what you loved about the book. Thank you for stopping by and watching today's video. Make sure to like the video below if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. I'm trying to put out videos every week, so if you subscribe, you can keep on top of that. And I will see you guys next week.